Okay. الحمد لله وحده والصلاة والسلام على من لا نبي بعده. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن في خلق السماوات والأرض واختلاف الليل والنهار لآيات لأولي الألباب الذين يذكرون الله قياما وقعودا على جنوبهم ويتفكرون في خلق السماوات والأرض ربنا ما خلقت هذا باطلا سبحانك فقنا عذاب النار ربنا إنك من تدخل النار فقد أخزيته وما للظالمين من أنصار ربنا إننا سمعنا مناديا ينادي للإيمان أن آمنوا بربكم فآمنا ربنا فاغفر لنا ذنوبنا وكفر عنا سيئاتنا وتوفنا مع الأبرار ربنا 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 سمعنا مناديا ينادي للإيمان أن آمنوا بربكم فآمنا ربنا فاغفر لنا ذنوبنا وكفر عنا سيئاتنا وتوفنا مع الأبرار ربنا وآتنا ما وعدتنا على رسلك ولا تحزنا يوم القيامة إنك لا تخلف الميعاد فجاب لهم ربهم عني لا أضيع عمل عامل منكم من ذكر أو أنثى بعضكم من بعض فالذين هاجروا وأخرجوا من ديارهم وأوذوا في سبيل الله وقاتلوا لأكفرن عنهم سيئاتهم وأدخلنهم جنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار ثوابا من عند الله والله عنده حسن الثواب رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. That's one thing that I thought about in the week when we were discussing the first ayat, Allah الذين يذكرون الله قياما, where we said, but just by looking at the earth in the skies and what in the earth in the skies in the difference between the day and the night, we can come to a conclusion on our own to say that there is Allah. So explain a little bit what was in front of us, and then what I thought in the week is to say that no, if generally when atheists are argue and put the point forth, they said that they don't believe in Allah because they can describe all the natural event, the Darwinian evolutions and what's happening. But one thing that they can't do is to say why things exist. And that is discussed in last week, in detail. To say in terms of lithium, I use the word lithium that are in the battery of the phones, it's only discovered maybe in the last 20, 30 years. So, but the atheists can tell you how that is being developed and what is a process of getting how it developed over centuries and stuff like that. But they cannot say why does it exist in the first place. They cannot give you a clear indicative answer or clear definitive answer to say why does lithium exist and people only find it now. So that is part of our thinking, to say Allah existed everything because he knew, and he knows that Allah knows, what Allah knows, that mankind will need it after 5 billion years after the earth was discovered, or not discovered, where the earth was put into being by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So there's an infinite regress of what was happening in the past, and it goes on. But there's also infinite progress forward to say that things will happen in 2 billion times. But the atheists cannot give you why things exist and we need it now. So there's a clear example that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knew, and that's why Allah exists, and that's why why things exist, because Allah decided, and Allah created it 5 billion years ago. Oh, I don't know how many years people say the earth exists. So just that is just something that I was thinking of, in the week, in that generally we find Allah in the earth, in the skies, in between the day and the night. That is our own conclusion that we reach, that Allah exists. And Allah has created that. So lithium exists, but the atheist cannot tell you why the lithium exists in the first place. So that were the first two ayahs of thinking about Allah. And thinking about Allah is in the intellectual process, and remembering Allah is for the heart. And we discussed that also last week, to say that the remembering of Allah is much more important than thinking about Allah. If we remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, our hearts get softer and the thinking becomes much easier, because we can see Allah in everything, in everyday life. As I said, maybe the piece of wood that people are making, the piece of wood is there since the beginning of mankind. But they didn't use wood initially to make their furniture from, or anything that they're doing. There's so many other examples that we can go into infinitely, and to say, it was created, in our mind, and you can think about it. And so if you think about it, to say that Allah created that wood and the tree, and we make paper from it. And we can see the 5 or 10,000 years, or 120,000 years, when man was created on earth, they didn't see the wood will create paper later on. So, but if our heart is not soft in remembering Allah, then we won't see the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then رَبَّنَا إِنَّكَ مَنْ تُدْخِلْ. So the next ayat is known after we discussed that about the intellectual function and the function of the heart. The next ayat is رَبَّنَا إِنَّكَ مَنْ تُدْخِلِ النَّارَ فَقَدْ أَخْزَيْتَهُ وَمَا لِلظَّالِمِينَ مِنْ أَنصَارٍ. Our Lord, most definitely, whomever you enters into the fire, then you have disgraced him. And for the wrongdoers, there is no helpers. No. If you look at the opposite of people that are disgraced, as people that are honored by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So if you're not disgraced, then you are honored. And if you see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in everything we do, and we can recognize in Allah and everything, then we are the honoring people, the people of honor. And Allah disgrace people, and Allah respect and honor people also. We generally get in my life, I'm sure I haven't asked anyone in my life. You often heard it. You must respect this one. You must respect. Why don't you respect me? I'm old and I'm doing this and I'm doing this good and stuff like that. In my life, I've never asked anyone to respect me or honor me and stuff, because respect and honor and disgrace comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is dependent on your good deeds that you're doing, and the remembering of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when you do everything. So disgrace and the respect. Allah is the most respectful. Part of the Asma'ul Husna, the 99 names of Allah. One of the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Al-A'izzat, the most respected. And that is the sifat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then one, you can see that Al-Izzat, but then Allah is the most respectful, but He extended that respect to mankind. And Allah gives respect to a person, then other people will respect him. On the other side, people said, no, I think I'm respected by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But Allah don't need our respect. When someone, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave respect and honor to a person, the honor and respect is that other people should respect you. And then that is by deeds of remembering Allah and how you see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So respect comes from Allah, and Allah can take out that respect also. So you can try your utmost to be a respectful person, but that will never happen, because Allah gives respect and Allah takes away respect. And if people respect you, then other people will, and then and Allah gives respect to you, and then it doesn't matter what anyone say. You have respect by other people. So of course, there will be now and then the odd guy, the odd person that said, I don't respect you. But it's not in his will or in his takdir to say that you're not a respected person, because the respect comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And respect also comes from what you do. And as I say, people do a lot of things. It's like a free person, a person that can do what he wants to do within the bounds of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then respect. Some people think they are free, not to make decisions. I just see sometimes that people, you are a slave of something. People are always a slave of something. And say, no, I just see people, especially the women, they wear all the curls, the new hairstyle, the new fashion trend is to have your curls not at the back, but the curls hangs next to your face, sort of. And then those people said, no, I'm free. But they're not actually free, because they are the slaves of fashion. There's the slaves of some people. If you go to a certain group, if you go to always university, so weird-looking people are always sitting in one side. Those were the chains and stuff like that. And people who are into maybe hip hop, or sometimes they will all dress the same. They will all walk the same. But those people say we are living in a free country, but they are not actually free. They're not making their own decisions. They are the slaves of fashion or different types of things that are happening. So and always when we try to be respectful, you don't get respect by what you're doing, extending your hair or looking beautiful. That respect is not through that. Respect is in what you do, remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and thinking about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And in the next ayat is ربنا إننا سمعنا مناديا ينادي للإيمان آمنوا بربكم فآمنا. Our Lord, most definitely we heard a caller calling your to Iman, to believe in you, and we have believed. And it's a clear and call. When you see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the creation, you can see somebody has called you. You understand now what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is. So if you look at the skies, you think about it, then you see Allah. There's a calling for you to say that Allah exists. Now, if you don't see that calling, if you don't see that in the skies, in the earth, so it is like a no. In the first place, when we discuss the first two ayahs, is to say you are searching. I just forgot to mention that the first two ayahs that we discussed last week is about searching, looking for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When we found Allah, we start talking to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this the previous verse, رَبَّنَا إِنَّكَ مَن تُدْخِلِ النَّارَ فَقَدْ أَخْزَيْتَهُ وَمَا لِلظَّالِمِينَ مِنْ أَنصَارٍ. Allah give honor. So we started to speak to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and telling him what we've seen and what honor is and what is respect. No, and then in the next ayah that we're discussing now, we identify the calling from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We see in the earth, in the skies, in the day, in the night, in everything that we see around us. That's a clear, clarion call from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we have to believe. And we believe. ربنا فاغفر لنا ذنوبنا وكفر عنا سيئاتنا وتوفنا مع الأبرار. Our Lord, give us for our sins and remove our sins, bad deeds, and cause us to be part of the righteous. We as Muslims, we are people that are born Muslim. We have that, we have a faith. We were born with it. So we didn't have that privilege or that opportunity to exploit, to see what is really Islam is about. We were born into it, so we are inherited. No, Islam, no, is inherited. But our faith, our belief is not inherited. That we have to come to a conclusion on its own. You can be a Muslim in name, and you can call you're a follower of Islam, but believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala It's not inherited. You have to find that all the time, as we discussed in the first ayat. So we say to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we have searched for it and we got it now. And we realize that being a Muslim, born a Muslim, does not allow us or does not bring us into faith. Just doesn't call us. We're not on the path of faith if we just a born Muslim. We still have to look for it. We still have to strive to look for Iman. We have to look for our belief. It is good and well that we're born into Muslim to be a Muslim, but we still have to develop our own convictions on what is real of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have to find it in the skies, in the eyes, in the eyes, the earth, in the skies. We have to ponder. Now, as I said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in this case also, Allah said, look at the earth and the skies, ponder about it, look at it, and then you will find Allah. Then you will find a clear conviction, that Allah exists. There's proof that we've said, in last week, you didn't create anything without purpose. So we have to come to that conclusion that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is in everything, and is inside us and is outside us. If you look at the human body and everything that we didn't discuss the human body, but everything is perfectly in its place. So we can say it's created by, but why do we exist in the first place? Again, I know that's a question. Well, our existence in the first place is to remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The reality that we exist and why we're on the earth, no, that's the purpose of life. We have to find our purpose by looking at our Iman constantly. We have to conclude that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the purpose of the creation on our own. We have to conclude genuinely and righteously and with conviction. We have to conclude with conviction that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is there for us. And we have to come to conclude that Allah didn't create anything without a purpose. And we are born Muslims, but we still have to look for our faith. We need to increase our faith, and by increasing our faith, we will increase our honor, and we will increase the respect that other people have for us. And then ربنا وآتنا ما وعدتنا على رسلك ولا تحزنا يوم القيامة إنك لا تخلف الميعاد. Our Lord, grant us what you have promised us through your messengers, and do not disgrace us at the day of resurrection. Indeed, you do not fail in your promise. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the whole Quran, He promised us always things. And there's an ayat I think it's in the same Surah Al Imran. It says that Inna Allah la yukhliful mi'ad. The ayah said, in this ayah, innaka la tukhliful mi'ad. In the previous ayat, I think since ayat number 9 or 10, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Inna Allah la yukhliful mi'ad. Inna Allah la yukhliful mi'ad is about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In innaka la tukhliful mi'ad is to say, Allah, you did not fail us. In the first ayat, Allah said, He is not going to fail us. He does not fail us. So when we that is a part of it, and that's in the 9th ayah, and then the end of Surah, in the 195 ayat of Surah Imran, we came to the conclusion that Allah do not fail us. So in the meantime, in the whole, innaka la tukhliful mi'ad, we came to the conclusion that Allah has helped us, and He has promised us things, and He said, Allah said is about Him. He said He's going to fulfill our promises. And then at the end of the surah, Allah said, I do not fail in my promises. It's about us. It's about us when you say something is far away. It's about the He and you. And when it's about He. When something is near us, you talk about you. I think that's how it works in the language. So Allah said, I do not fail I do not fail in the promise. And it said, it's about Allah does not fail. But he said, he do not fail. So that is what we reach when we see the signs and we see the messengers, what they've told us, and what conclusion they've come to. So there's a difference between إنك لا تخلف الميعاد إن الله يخلف الميعاد, and at the end of the set, إنك لا تخلف الميعاد. You have definitely not failed us, no, in your promises. فَتَجَابَ لَهُمْ رَبُّهُمْ أَنِّي لَا أُضِيعُ عَمَلَ عَامِلٍ مِنْكُمْ مِنْ ذَكَرٍ أُنْثَى بَعْضُكُم مِنْ بَعْضٍ فَالَّذِينَ هَاجَرُوا وَأُخْرِجُوا مِنْ دِيَارِهِمْ وَأُوذُوا فِي سَبِيلِي وَقَاتَلُوا لَقُتِلُوا لَأُكَفِّرَنَّ عَنْهُمْ سَيِّئَاتِهِمْ وَلَأُدْخِلَنَّهُمْ جَنَّاتٍ تَجْرِي مِنْ تَحْتِهَا الْأَنْهَارُ ثَوَابًا مِنْ عِنْدِ اللَّهِ وَاللَّهُ عِندَهُ حُسْنُ الثَّوَابِ. Now this is a part where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala started talking back to us. But I'm not going to go into detail into what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in this ayat, but it generally said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala immediately answers your questions. And is answering something that is immediate or something, seeing that is answered. And so there is different types of getting answered. You get immediate answers sometimes, and you got some long-term answers that are in the future. So that is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said when he said his promises, he will always keep his promises, but it's on different ways, that he will that will keep his promises. I just want to give a little bit of reflection on this on this du'as that we've done now. In difficult times, we don't ask Allah to change our reality. We ask Allah to the strength to deal with the reality. In we don't ask if somebody dies, we're not going to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make him alive again. So that is a dua. That's a type of dua. When we ask du'as, it is one of two kinds. No, it's the one that we, when we're in difficulty, we just ask Allah to the strength to handle the difficulties. In this different types of affliction that are accounted to other in financial afflictions or any other affliction, we don't ask Allah to give us a million rand now. We just ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, let us deal with our difficulties. No, it is nothing to, we not ask Allah to change our reality. And for those in another type of reflection on the dua is for those who ask for the strength to deal with reality, Allah will change the reality for them. No, this is a type of it's a bit of it's a bit philosophical. Now we also discuss the ayat of Nabi Dawood. ربنا ثبتنا ربنا أفرغ علينا صبر وثبت أقدامنا وانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. No, he made a dua, and that was a dua about sabr. ربنا Allah, pour your sabr upon me, and make our feet firm against the disbelievers in the battle of where they were where we have the battle with the Philistines at that time of Nabi Dawood. I think the Philistines, the times of Palestine. So they asked Allah to get that, to make to rid them of the fear in their hearts and give them the strength to not to run away. So not to run away. So Allah gives them the strength, and He assisted them also. So when you ask for Allah to strength to deal with reality, Allah will change the reality for them. If you ask the strength, when Nabi Dawood or in the battle of Badr, when we discussed the battle of Badr also, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent them down malaikas to come and help them. So they ask for strength to deal with reality. Allah changed the reality for them by sending down the malaika. So maybe we can discuss it at a different stage again. Just a reflection on the previous du'as. In difficult times, we ask Allah to change. We don't ask Allah to change reality. We ask for the strength to handle reality. And for those who ask for strength Allah will change the reality by sending malaikats. It's on the thing that I sent last week. You can just read through it again and start to internalize it. But we need a much more broader, in-depth discussion on something like that in difficult times. We ask Allah not to change reality, but ask for strength to handle the reality. When we ask for strength, Allah will send His help. So that is, I think, no. I will just touch on it in again next week, just to make it. Maybe I'll get some one or two. I will think of about one or two examples to make this ayat in. No, there's a way to ask Allah for strength, and there's a way to ask Allah for the strength to deal with reality. So I'm just gonna do that a bit next week again, inshallah. بارك الله لي ولكم في القرآن الحكيم ونفعني وإياكم وذكر الحكيم. أقول قولي هذا أستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم.